Now, there we go. There's your chocolate milk, cereal vibes, proper Sam Sulek. It'll have to do. Oh, there we go. Chloe with the spotlight. Boom, professional setup here. Right guys, we are just outside the gym here now. We're in for pull today. I've got a very bro pull day for you today. So I'm actually really looking forward to this one. Good couple of like older school exercises in there. Just trying to like enjoy myself and enjoy my training while I'm at home. And I think as well, with a lot of my like pull exercises over the past 2 years, I've been guilty of doing like the most optimal things and keeping form like super tight and shit like that. And not that I'm just going to let my training get sloppy, but I think I just need to fucking move the weight a little bit more and just allow myself a little bit of body English here and there just to try and, you know, hit parts of my back maybe that I haven't been hitting from being a little bit too strict or a little bit too optimal. So going to take you through the session today, obviously, and try and explain as much pointers as I possibly can. I think a lot of people did find the last push video valuable, and even when I was watching it back myself, I didn't really actually say as much as I could have like throughout the session in terms of like how I was going about doing the exercises or the warm-ups or any of the cues or anything like that. So I'm going to try and be a little bit more detailed today as I'm running you through the session. But yeah, we're going to head in now guys, and I'll catch up with you in there. Alright guys, so first exercise up here, we've got the single arm D-handle lat pull down. So one of the most optimal of exercises there is. So I know I'm kind of contradicting myself already in this session, saying I was steering away from some of the more optimal exercises, but of all of them, I do think this one is probably the best. And I do think it probably is the best one to target the lats, right, and get the lats fully short, which is exactly why we're doing this as the first exercise, okay? You know, whilst I am doing a couple of different exercises from an enjoyment perspective, I still have designed this training program to be as optimal as it possibly can be in a way, right? I still wanted to hit all portions of my back as best as possible, okay? Even though there is some difference in kind of exercise selection there. I'm doing more bilateral movements than I am single arm movements. This is my only unilateral movement that I'm going to be doing for this session. But we are placing it first because my lats are shit, pretty much, okay? My lats are still the weakest body part, and I want to make sure that we are prioritizing those. So I'm going to do the lat work before, the single arm lat work before I kind of do the remainder of the session, just to make sure that I am actually kind of hitting this as best as I possibly can be, right? So first exercise up, we are going to do a couple of warm-ups here. When it comes to single arm lat pull down, and because I normally do it first in both my back sessions, what I'll do is I'll pick like a relatively like light weight, like a pretty light weight, and I'll just grab that weight, right, because it is super light, and I'll just do a good couple of reps of it, right? Nice stretch up here, come down, contract hard, and I'll do a good couple of reps with this just so I can kind of like build the neurological connection with that movement pattern. You know, when I kind of warm up with a super light weight, obviously it's not going to like affect me that much or fatigue me or anything like that, but I'll just make sure I do a good solid couple of reps just so that I'm like in the rhythm of that movement. So I'll do that for left arm and right arm. I'm just moving the bench here guys, just to actually line myself up a little bit better with the cable and the line of pull. So again, I'll come over here, I'll do like 8 to 10 reps on this with a super light weight. I think I'm only using like 10 kilos there, and obviously because this weight is so light and it's not really like taking much out of me to like focus on what I'm doing here, I am just talking you through the set, but I won't do that for after that, right? So that's like first little warm-up set, get a little bit of blood in there, just kind of learn that movement pattern. And second warm-up set, what I'll do is I'll pick something a little bit heavier. So I've like 2.5 times the weight there, so I've gone with like 28.75 on the cable stack, so I'm about 2/3 down the cable stack. With this cable stack in extreme, I'm pretty much stacking it here for a set of like 8 to 10 reps. So I will actually wrap myself in for this second set, and with this I'm literally just touching the weight, okay? So I'm aiming to do like 3-ish reps here. Okay, so I know from doing that weight now, for that like second touchy kind of set, I kind of know how that feels, and that gives me a gauge for like how heavy I'm going to be able to go for my top set, right? So that felt pretty good. That's like 2/3 of the cable stack. It felt pretty easy. I think the last time I was in here and I did this session, I did the full stack for 8 reps. My rep range is 10 to 12 today.
but I think I'm actually going to go with the full stack again for 10 reps, because I think I will get that 10 reps today. It's obviously like when I did this pull session the last time around, I hadn't done this exact cable stack and this exact cable in quite some time. So I was trying to just get a feel for it, and I did get 8 reps there, and I think I'll probably get 10 reps easily enough today on that, to be perfectly honest, right? So that's what I'm going to do. So top set coming up here, guys. So 11 reps there, as you'll have seen. Last rep, kind of started to use a little bit of momentum and get a little bit sloppy. So that's when I know the set is over. Second last rep there, the 10th one, I kind of moved relatively well, and I'm still fairly like tight form-wise. So I went for that extra rep, and yes, I used a little bit of body momentum, but I'll only do that for like the last rep on that exercise, because after that, if you're just using that shoulder to rock back and sway, you're not going to be getting that much lat engagement. It's just going to be junk volume. So yeah, 11 reps there, happy enough. Thing just before I move on the back off for this single arm D-handle pull down, I'm actually going to drop down to 25. So I did 47.5 for the top set and 25 for the back off set, right? So I'm dropping by like almost half. Now my rep range is much higher. It is 15 to 20 reps, but on the top set, if I hit like the bottom of the rep range, so I'm always aiming to kind of hit the bottom of that rep range for the top set, because I like to go a little bit heavier, focus on strength, still keeping form fairly tight. But on the back off, a lot of the time, I do drop like quite a lot of weight. Like even when I've like trained with people and I'm doing my like back off set, they're like, Jesus, you're dropping quite a lot. Or they're like, will I pull one plate off? And I'm like, nah, pull off a plate and a half. And I like to go like much lighter on that back off set, but aim for like the higher reps. I don't like the top set and the back off set to be like close in number in terms of the repetitions I'm doing. I do like there to be a good bit of a difference, and I like there to be more volume on that back off set. And I generally tend to focus on just like really nailing down the form. I use a little bit of body English sometimes on the top set and just lift heavier weights. On the back off set, I like to make it like absolutely on the money with higher reps. Alright guys, so next up, an exercise I haven't done in a very long time, and that is going to be deadlifts, conventional deadlifts. So a lot of people steer clear of deadlifts because they're not the most optimal exercise, which I do agree with, to be perfectly honest. I would never have deadlifts in my own training program or a client's training program over like an SLDL or an RDL or a dumbbell RDL variation, because I think from a hypertrophy standpoint, they are better options. But a conventional deadlift, it's just fucking fun, isn't it? It's just enjoyable. So I've thrown it in on my back day, as you can see here, obviously, rather than like on my leg day. So on my leg day, I still do have a barbell RDL on one leg day and then a dumbbell RDL on the other leg day. So I am still doing a lot of hinging, and I am prioritizing those hip hinges for hypertrophy pretty much, right? But on the back day, I thought, you know what, I'm gonna fucking chuck in one set of conventional deadlifts just for the enjoyment, and I'm not gonna focus too much on like having like super slow rinsed eccentrics. I'm just gonna shift the fucking weight and just lift it a little bit. I will still control the eccentrics to a reasonable degree, but not to the point that it's gonna like overly fatigue me or anything like that. I'm not gonna like control the eccentric on this deadlift like I would on an SLDL to try and really nail my hamstrings. I'm just gonna fucking see how much weight I can shift here pretty much. And I was kind of debating, would I do an SLDL today instead of a deadlift, because when I do my SLDLs, when it is on my plan, I'm doing it for that hamstring focus, right? I'm keeping my legs like super stiff. I'm really rinsing that eccentric, and I'm not like letting that weight slam down. But if I was doing it for an upper back focus, I'd just fucking rip it off the floor and just let it come back down again. And I was kind of thinking, will I do that today? It would make more sense because obviously it's a back day, but I have the T-bar row in after this for upper back, so I think I'll just stick with the conventional deadlifts. But I may play around with it for a while, even though I'm probably only going to be doing this session like twice, maybe 3 times more before I'm in Ultraflex, and there will be no deadlifts then. So be interested to see where my strength is at. I think the last time I did deadlifts, I got 180 kilos for a set of 8, I believe. No, sorry, I got 190 kilos for a set of 6. There we go. So will I get 200 kilos for a set of 6 today? We'll find out soon. So warm-ups on the deadlift done there. I did just 20 kilos aside for a couple of reps. That was off camera. Then as you see, I did like 100 for 5. I did like 140 maybe for like 1. And then after that, I did 180 for like 1, or maybe I did 140 for a little bit more than that. I can't remember, but that generally tends to be how I warm up. You know, I don't go overly heavy, or I don't do too many reps with the heavier weights. To be honest, like I kind of just warm up enough so I can kind of like get the rhythm with that movement pattern, and then after that it's just like one rep, just like getting a feel for the weight and for the load. So 180 felt good there. Obviously, like first rep in the deadlift always moves a little bit slower off the ground, and then you're kind of like second, third rep always generally tend to move a little bit easier. So that 180 didn't feel too bad, to be honest. I think I will be able for the 200. Whether I'll get the 6 reps or not, I don't know, but I'm just going to fucking go for it. I can see now watching those warm-up sets back, I think they're not the best deadlifts. I can see the main issue I'm having is that my hips are kind of shooting up. So I'm trying not to like overly squat down into the movement, and I'm trying to drive up through my legs as much as possible. But I think I've just gotten so used to fucking, you know, keeping my legs straight on the stiff leg that's just naturally where my body wants to go. You know, my hips just want to shoot up, and I want to just rip it with my back. So trying to still use a little bit of leg drive there, and I'm kind of doing like this almost not fully conventional deadlift, not an SLDL either, but a little bit of a hybrid, not even a hybrid, but yeah, it's just an unusual looking deadlift. But I think when it comes to hinges, sometimes like they're all kind of just a little bit of a hybrid of each other, aren't they? I think if you can just fucking grab the bar and you can just lift it, and the form is reasonably good, it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. I think it's probably not going to be when I'm doing this 200 kilos, but everything feels good, you know, lower back feels good, legs feel good. So we'll see how I get on now with this top set, but 1 set only. We'll aim for 6 reps, but the drive and the want to push hard is definitely there today. So just going to channel that aggression and see what I can do. So 6 reps there, just about. Felt really fucking good. Lower back a little bit tender, not tender in like an injury kind of perspective, but just like normal muscular soreness from just like doing a set. So felt really good. Definitely will be keeping those in. 200 for 6 I think is probably like a fucking PB for me, to be perfectly honest. So I think I'll actually be able to get that for like 8 reps the next time. Is I think like the only reason that moves slow is because I'm just not used to doing that exercise. I think if I got a couple of rotations in on that, it'll start to move really well. But like my whole entire back, upper back, feels like it was not even worked there. I think the main bottleneck there was like from my knee to my hip and getting that weight up. I think the lockout was relatively easy. So yeah, T-bar rows up next. Right, so next exercise here, we've got the T-bar row, and this is the third exercise in. So like normally I wouldn't even warm up for this. I just kind of slap on my top set weight and just go with it. Now this T-bar I haven't actually used before, so today I will actually do a couple of warm-ups, because I don't know, is this T-bar heavier than the T-bar I would have used when I was in FLF? So like with that T-bar, I would have done 3 plates for a handy top set. But with this, I've no idea. Like, is it a heavier T-bar? Is it a lighter T-bar? So normally I wouldn't do a warm-up, but because I don't know what this T-bar is like, and as well, because I don't know what it's like, I need to get a feel for it. You know, it's set up a little bit differently. The chest pad might be at a different height. The handles might be in a different position. So I like to just use a lighter weight and do a couple of warm-ups so I can kind of get a feel for where I need to position myself in the piece of equipment to be lined up properly before I just fucking slap all the weight on and go into it straight away, right? A very common mistake I kind of see with clients as well, you know, in terms of execution clips, is like when they're doing an exercise, I'm like, did you even set yourself up right in the warm-ups? You know, you see it all the time with like split squats where people's stance is just all over the place. I'm like, did you not like do body weight reps with like no weight whatsoever, just so you could nail down your stance before you actually picked up the fucking dumbbells? So make sure, guys, before you actually get to your top sets, not only that you're warming up with lightweight to prevent injury, but that you're like treating all your warm-up sets like top sets in the way that you're actually performing them, right? So when you're doing your warm-up sets, still nail down your tempo, right? Still cue yourself, still think about what you're doing, so that when it comes time for that top set, you're already mentally locked in. So here we go, T-bar row. Okay, warm-up's done there, and they felt ridiculously light, to be honest. I just did 1 plate for like 5 reps, and then 2 plates for like 2-3 reps, and then I put 3 plates on, and I've done 1 rep with this, and it felt good. You know, I was thinking of potentially adding a 5 or adding a 10 onto it, but I won't, and the only reason why I'm not is my rep range is 8 to 10 here, and I do think I'll get that, but I normally wouldn't do deadlifts before I do a T-bar row. And obviously with the deadlifts, there is going to be a little bit of upper back engagement. So whilst that 1 rep might have felt good, I might fatigue a lot sooner than I normally would on this. So for that reason, I'm just going to err on the side of caution. I'm going to do the 60 kilos for the top set. And you know, if I hit the top of the rep range, if I get 10 reps, fantastic. If I get 11 or 12, well then like, that's just a bonus, and I can just go heavier the next rotation. But if I was to up the weight here and I got like 5-6 reps, I'd be pretty fucking pissed off at myself, to be perfectly honest. So that is the plan of action for this. So let's fucking strap up and go, boys. So there we go, 10 reps, perfect. So next exercise up, seated close grip cable row. You know, not super close grip. I'm not using the V-bar here. I'm using like this kind of U-shaped bar, I like to call it, attachment. So it's like shoulder width, thinking of driving my elbows straight back into my sides. I don't want it too close, because if I use too close of a grip, I'm not going to be able to get my elbows the whole way back. I'm going to limit myself, whereas if my hands are out here, boom, I can get my elbows back a little bit more, shorten those lats a little bit more, and kind of retract the scapula to a certain degree here, right? So this is an exercise that I used to always fucking do when I was younger, and this exercise and the next exercise, and it's one I just want back in because I know I like it, I know it feels good, I know it's like not considered maybe one of the like optimal exercises, but I think if I can just get on this, shift a little bit of weight and get a good pump in my back, like I think for me, I know that if I connect with something really fucking well and I feel something really well, isn't that like the most important thing? So I'm going to allow myself a little bit more body English on this. I'm not going to like be like super strict and rigid like I would on like a lat pull down, or a single arm lat pull down, or a single arm cable row, but I'm I'm not going to take the piss either. Like, I'm not going to completely lean back and use momentum to get the weight back. I'm going to allow myself to come forward and stretch, and then as I come back, I'll bring my torso back first, but then I will drag my elbows back, and from here I'll stay straightened up. I won't lean back to get the weight back. I'm going to stretch forward, I'm going to come back with my torso, and then drive the elbows back like this. So I've gone with like 75 kilos here, which is like 2/3 the cable stack, I believe. So we'll see how I get on for this. Again, no real gauge of what strength is going to be like, because I haven't done this in ages, but we'll see. All right, let's go. Come on. Big stretch. All right, 9 reps, not bad. As you can see there, on the last rep, I did start to just sway and rock back a little bit too much for my liking. It was more of a like, use momentum and sway my torso back to get the weight back than it was actually using my elbows. So I know the second I do that, boom, set is over. But yeah, that felt good. So again, I'll do what I normally do on the back off here, and I'll lighten the load quite considerably and look to just like really focus on the form, not use any body English whatsoever, and just try and get a mega fucking pump. So next up, mag grip pull down for the upper back. So this is something I actually did when I was last in Ireland with one of my like post-show pump sessions, because I came over to the lateral pull down machine and I was just on it, and I was just feeling lazy and fatigued post-show. I was like, ah, fuck it, I'll leave it on it. I'll do that as my upper back pull down variation, and it fucking felt immense. And I was thinking to myself, I used to do these all the time, and I did them because I love the feel of them. And then I kind of moved away from them, and I was like, oh, I'll do like the fucking prime, you know, D handle, like lat pull down, because it's the most optimal, and I can kind of, you know, change the position of my wrist, etc, etc. And then I ended up just fucking not feeling that movement whatsoever, and just not feeling it really that much at all. I think I stole this lat pull down off your man there. He's not impressed, but anyway, it is what it is. Man's got a record for YouTube's. So mag grip pull down is back in, and I think I'm gonna fucking stick with this, to be honest, because it just feels fucking great. I can get my elbows like right back and down, and because they're a little bit closer and my arms are neutral, I just feel like I get a better squeeze and a better retraction rather than I'm out a little bit wider. Now, don't get me wrong, I still do like that like really wide grip D-handle pull down, but I feel like I've been doing it for so long and I ran it up so much that I just wasn't getting out of it what I used to. So a little bit of a switch up here with the mag grip pull down for now, and we'll see how we get on. So good set, 9 reps there. As you can see on that last rep, I didn't get it like fully down and fully short. So once that happens, again, set is over. I see far too many people, you know, they get those like that half rep and then they try and go again and think like, oh yeah, I'm trained to failure. It's like, are you really? You're like, you're not. We want to train to mechanical failure, so full range of motion with good form. And if either of those things break down and fall to shit, then you're just doing junk volume, you know? You're just not going to be targeting the muscle whatsoever. You will to some degree, but we want to get in the habit of doing good, clean, proper fucking reps. And like, if you're constantly finishing all your sets with these like sloppy half reps, it's like, it's just going to affect that set and that exercise the next time. You build bad habits, you know? Whereas if you always keep your form on point, that has such a cross transfer over into so many other exercises, right? So hold yourself to high standards in terms of execution. Once you feel it's slipping at the end of the set, call the fucking set there. Don't just do like these sloppy, shitty reps, because then you'll go into your back off set, right? And then you might start the set with those sloppy, shitty reps because you're just used to doing them, you know? So don't allow yourself to skimp out on the good execution, guys. Super important. So yeah, back off here, and then I believe we're on to arms, or maybe we've one more back exercise, but fuck me, this is going to be a long session. Chloe's going to be done soon, she's going to be raging. Alright guys, reverse pec deck up next. Another very commonly butchered exercise, so I'm going to give a couple of pointers on this one, right? So our rear delts, the range of motion is very, very short, okay? So you do not need to be coming the whole way back, swinging those arms right back, right? We don't want retraction of the scapula here whatsoever. We want to just make sure it's just the way back, okay? So when you're doing this exercise, right, you're only going to be coming to about here, okay? Elbows literally just in front of the shoulder, right? Because when you're here, right, and your elbows are just in front of the shoulders, you can actually feel that tension on the rear delt. If you go back here with elbows beside the shoulders, you'll immediately start to feel it on your front delt and in your trap. And if you go further back here, it's literally all trap and teres that you're pretty much going to be feeling, right? So we're not doing this, you know, swinging the arms back as far as we possibly can, bending at the elbow and pulling and retracted back your scapula. What you want to think about here is put your arse back to the edge of the pad, right? Lean forward with your chest. You want to straighten your arms out as much as possible, right? So think about protracted forward, bringing your arms forward as much as you possibly can. And then from there, keeping the arms straight, we're bringing our hands out and back, stopping there with the elbow, back forward. Don't let the hands kind of come straight in front of you. Leave them just out an inch or two to keep that tension on the rear delt. And then we're just going to repeat here. So as you can see here, guys, range of motion is super short. It's like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, right? And that is it. And I'm feeling that all on my rear delt, right? It's no trap, you know, it's no fucking front delt. It's just all on those big rear delts back there. Next exercise up, my all-time favorite bicep exercise. So we've got the high cable curl for the biceps here. Now I like to do this in between a wide cable stack so I can actually brace myself. Like you see a lot of people, they just do it standing like this, but honestly I think it's much better to put yourself in between a cable stack like this so that you can reach across, grab the other side with your other arm, pull yourself in, and then from here you can brace your core and you're super stable before you get into the movement, right? So if you are doing a high cable curl, do it on a wide cable stack, use the other side to brace yourself. Now, with this exercise, I just feel this a lot in like the peak of my bicep. I know that's very like bro-ish, and obviously it's the peak that I'm really trying to grow because I've got very, very long bicep inserts. They insert fucking in my armpit the whole way fucking down to my elbow. So for me to actually have big arms or a big bicep peak, they're gonna have to get absolutely fucking massive. So that is the goal. So here, guys, we're doing quite a lot of volume. So I have 2 sets of 10 to 15, and then I've got a set of 15 to 20 with like a drop set at the end, and that's going to be the exact same for my preacher curls. So all my arm work at the moment, it's high volume sets of 10 to 15 or 15 to 20 with intensifiers to really just try and blow them up. And they seem to be recovering well so far, and I definitely think they're progressing. So yeah, I'll show you the execution on this one, guys, and honestly give this a try. When you are curling here, right, make sure you try and drag your fist in to like touch your head. It's not going to touch your head, right? But think about bringing your fist into your temple, okay? And make sure on the way out that you fully stretch your arm. Let the bicep lengthen up, okay? Again here, no half reps like that. Full fucking range of motion, full stretch. Take the bicep through its full range. And stretch. And squeeze. Alright guys, so first exercise for biceps is done, and we got ourselves a little bit of a pump. Wow. There we fucking go. Boom. We'll get there eventually, guys. We will have big arms someday. So last exercise here we've got a single arm dumbbell preacher curl. You just can't beat the old dumbbell preacher curl, guys. It's one of the best exercises there is. Dumbbell curl, concentration curl, doesn't really matter. Can't fucking beat it. So 3 sets here as well. 8 to 10, 10 to 12, 12 to 15. I find for the dumbbells, for whatever reason, I kind of like the lower reps and go a little bit heavier, because I just find, I don't know, super high reps on a dumbbell just don't feel as much as I do with the cables. So yeah, now here as well, guys, we're coming the whole fucking way down. Pause, drag up, and then 2 seconds squeeze. Really fucking squeeze that bicep at the top. There we go. I'm in focus. There we go. All right, guys, session wrapped up. Very fucking good session there, even though we were in the gym for fucking ages. I got caught talking to 1 or 2 people, but very good session. I felt really fucking strong today. Honestly, just feel like I can run through walls in the gym again, which is good. I'm 2.5 kg up from like where I was last week, but honestly, I'm like way tighter. I feel like all the softness and the wateriness in my midsection when I wake up in the morning is just gone. Abs are just like blocky, like tight, like sharp again. Fullness in the top line is just really after coming back. So this is the start of week 4 on cycle, so I'm fully fucking on now, which is good, and I can certainly feel it in the gym. Strength is absolutely immense, and everything just feels so solid and feels so good. You kind of know that real like on cycle feeling when you just feel like you can run through walls in the gym and like nothing, not that nothing hurts, but it's like nothing is niggly. Everything is just like moving smoothly. You feel like you just have more to give. You can just push a little bit more. So yeah, it's a fucking unbelievable feeling. So looking forward to getting home now and getting this post-workout into me. I feel like I'm growing like a weed lately, and that is a good sign because it's only week 4 of this push-up and we've got another 5 months left at least, which is good. Happy days. So have you anything to add, Chloe, to the YouTubes?
I'm just resting.
She's wicked antisocial, just on the phone here while we're trying to record a YouTube clip.
Well, I'm applying for some jobs.
She's applying for some jobs, yeah. She does need to get a job, so I'll give her a pass on that one.
Yeah, exactly.
She always picks like the worst time to do things, though, you know what I mean? Like,
no,
really,
I go on my phone and then he gives out to me for it, but I work 9 to 5 and I don't touch my phone all day, so...
Yeah, she's just mindlessly scrolling TikToks in the evening times, but oh fuck, this battery's gonna go dead soon. So before it cuts out on us, guys, we'll catch up with you later on. Or maybe you won't. Maybe that'll be the video wrapped up here, and I'll just catch you again for legs. I'll just keep plugging these out. But yeah, hopefully when I watch it back, it was decent and I wasn't rambling too much. But I'm doing it again. Anyway, we'll chat to you in a little bit.